Hey everyone, hello, hello. Welcome to another day of Seated OT Class with Dan. I'm Dan. Welcome to our OT class for today. Hope everyone is doing well. Hope everyone is ready for another fun, educational, interesting class, learning different strategies. Remember, we are doing 30 days of seated self-regulation activities where we can talk about and practice different kinds of movements, exercises, breathings, different kinds of strategies that can be applied into our daily or weekly routine. All right, so we have sometimes extra energy within our body that we're not getting out, and by doing exercises or stretches or movements or different breathing activities or knowing different strategies that can help to give us a way to get that extra energy out can really help us to feel better without that energy. So sometimes that extra energy can make us feel stressed or angry or very excited. It doesn't always have to be bad. So by finding these different strategies, they can help us to feel calm, help us to feel better within our own bodies, and therefore more able to do all the things that we want to do throughout our day, okay, whether it's school or other kinds of activities. All right, so remember that this is just an educational series, so it's not meant to replace any therapies or existing services that you might already have, just educational suggestions, activities, and information that is meant for parents and families, students, children to all do together, educators, providers to do together with students, just to help find different activity strategies that can be implemented into our daily and weekly routine. All right, so also I can't see what anyone is doing, so please make sure you are safe and careful in everything that you do. Consult with a doctor, primary care physician, healthcare provider before starting if you need to. All right, with that being said, I hope everyone is ready for another day of our Seated OT class with Dan. So, if you are keeping your notebook along with me, then your notebook is going to be full of all our different information that we've been talking about, all of our different activities that we've been addressing. Okay, so remember, you can write just the uppercase letters or the uppercase letters with the words of the activities we do. You can write upper and lowercase, or you can write just how I'm writing our upper and lowercase letters and the names of the activities. So this way, by the time we finish this course, this series, we'll have a whole book full of different breathings, activities, exercises, okay? And also I'll post a video that has this list of everything and which category it belongs in. So whether it's a stretch or an exercise, movement, a breathing, a strategy, okay, etc. So you can write along with me. Remember, when we're writing, we can also use our finger to trace our letters or our arm to trace in the air. It's a good way to help get that letter into our brain of how to make the letter. Okay, it helps us to coordinate our visual sensations, right? How we see the things that we see inside of our brain, right? You can even challenge yourself. Can you make a letter with your eyes closed? So it's a nice way to challenge yourself on some of those skills, okay? So we did our letters A, B, C, D. We did E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L. We did M, N, O, P. Okay? So keep turning your pages. If you're turning your book, try to turn just one page at a time using one hand or the other hand or both hands. It's a nice way to get our fingers working. Okay, so M, N, O, P, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. Today we have Q, R, S, T. Okay, so let's get started with our letter Q. Okay, so our letter Q, our first activity, our first exercise is QI. It's pronounced chi, chi, breath. Okay, so in our QRST, we actually have a couple of different breathing activities we'll be doing together. So let me move a little closer for this one, okay? All right, so our chi breath is something that you might have seen referred to as a square breath. The reason it's called a square is because we're going to be breathing in, holding, breathing out, and holding. Okay, you might see it referred to as a box breath too. Our chi breath, it goes breathing in, hold, breathing out, hold. So it's also called square or box breathing. Okay, it's one that can help with feeling calmness. And remember, breathing, it's different for everybody. So throughout this series, we get to try a lot of different breaths because we can see which ones feel good, which ones don't feel good. So it's really about finding what's best for us. And that's why that individual approach is the best. Okay, this is just educational, general educational information, but individual is going to be the best. Okay, so let's try our chi breath together. So just like a square. So the first thing we want to do is see how many seconds we are breathing. So if we use our fingers to count, how many fingers worth of counting do we breathe in and how many do we breathe out? So in just our regular breath, I'm doing about 4. Okay, so you might be doing 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. What we want to start to do first is just have even amount of time that we breathe in, even amount of time that we breathe out. So okay, so excuse me. So our breathing could make us have to sneeze. Whew. Okay, well, you get a little more than what you've asked for, right? You get to watch me make funny faces and sneeze. So let's get back to it. So these are coming to you live. So we're gonna get even amount of breathing in to breathing out. Okay, once we know that number, that's what we're gonna do for our breathing in. Then we add a hold for that same amount of time, then breathing out and hold for the same amount of time. So we can even put a square next to our chi. Okay. And so what we can do is, for me, it's 4. So I'm going to do 4, but we can do 3 or 5, whatever is your breath. Okay, so with the 4, it goes like this. Hold. Let it out. Hold. Again. In. Hold. Let it out. Hold. One more time. Hold. Let it out. Hold. Okay, one more on your own. Breathe in. Hold. Let it out. Hold. And let it go. Okay, so that is our chi breath. Our box breathing, square breathing is our chi breath, chi breathing. So it's a good strategy for calming, for de-escalating a stressful situation. But remember, it's different for everyone. So it's just a good opportunity to try these different breathing activities and see which one works for you. Okay, so our next one is quick. Quick is a strategy to keep in mind with any kind of situation. So if we have a situation where something makes us upset or frustrated or stressed, okay, instead of thinking about it for too long, we quickly decide what we want to do. We quickly make that decision. We quickly do something about it, and we quickly move on from it. So once we can identify what's going on, then we can address it, and then we can move on from it. So if we're feeling upset or frustrated or stressed out because of a school task or because of something at home or something from a friend, anything that's happening, sometimes we don't talk about it. We just let it sit there, right? And so this isn't quick. This is slow processing because we're letting it sit. We're letting it soak and marinate. Okay, so quick means, you know what, this bothered me. So in a nice way, respectfully, I'm going to say something. This didn't make me feel good. I'm going to quickly decide what I want to do about it. So this doesn't mean to be violent or to be angry, right? It means what's the right decision to make? What's a good decision to make? And sometimes we need help, right? We can have mentors or people we trust, family members, friends, people who support us to help understand what is the best kind of thing to make, decision to make right now. But when we act quickly, okay, so sometimes we do need to process it and think, and it's not always just quick because that could be a reaction. And we're not looking for a reaction, we're looking for a response. Okay, reaction is when we react without thinking. Response just means moving, something that's going to help us to move on quick. That quick is about moving on quick. So that response, we want to look for an appropriate response, but we want to look for it quickly. Okay, so if something didn't make us feel good, we don't like what happened, something is bothering us, then in a respectful and polite, or just respectful in the correct way, right? We don't want to start argument or yelling or fighting. We want to figure out what the best response is. It's different for every situation, okay? But in general, this quick strategy just means that we quickly figure out how it makes us feel, okay? We don't just let it go in there and don't think about it. We figure out quickly how it makes us feel. We figure out quickly what is the best thing to do about it, not just what our reaction to it might be, but what is the best thing to do about it. And this way, when we name it, we can tame it, and we can move on from it and quickly move on so that it doesn't stay sitting on us, keeping us upset, keeping us sad, keeping us stressed, keeping us frustrated. Okay, we can quickly decide what it's making us feel. We can quickly start to work on making a response for it. Okay, do we tell someone that this hurt our feelings? Do we tell someone that it made us angry? Who do we tell? How do we say it? How do we tell? What do we say? What do we do? Okay, and the quicker that we go about dealing with it, then the quicker we can move on from it, and the less that it's going to be causing us that kind of experience, that kind of pain, or whatever the situation is. Okay, so does that make sense? So that is for our strategy of quick. It's really a mindset to practice to quickly get things off of our chest and off of our heart, really. Okay, so let's see if we can use our pencil marker, cross out our chi, or check off rather, in our word quick. Okay, let's turn the page and we come to our letter R. All right, so for R, these are good ones. For R, first we have our word reaching. So reaching, let me come back here. Reaching is a stretch. So just like it sounds, to do our reaching, all we have to do is reach. So first we'll do with our arms. So let's take our arms, we can meet them in the middle. Okay, rub them together, right? Let's get them warmed up, and now we're gonna do our reaching. So we start reaching out to our sides. Okay, and reach. So reach means that we are reaching for something. We're not just stretching our arms, we're reaching. So what are you reaching for? See if you can reach your fingertips, trying to reach towards one wall and your fingertips to another wall. So we're not just stretching, we are reaching towards the walls, reaching towards something on the side of us. So reach to those walls, reach. So reach to the wall on one side and the wall on the other. So you should feel a nice deep stretch in your shoulders, elbows, in your wrists, and all the way out to your fingers, a deep reach. Okay, then we can bring our arms up and reach up, reach for the ceiling. So again, we're not just lifting our arms up, but reach all the way through your fingertips, trying to touch the ceiling. Okay, you might look up a little bit. You might look straight ahead. Reach for the ceiling. Okay, then we can bring our arms back halfway. And now open our arms up to the side again. Reach out to the sides. Reach, 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 reach. Bring our arms back to the middle. Reach up, reach. And now we're gonna bend over and push it all out. Okay, a nice little exercise of reaching and stretching for our arms. We can do the same thing for our legs. So kick your leg forward. All right, instead of just lifting your leg forward, point your toes and reach them forward. So reach them to something in front, like my table or the wall. Okay, so point those toes and reach, reach, reach. So when we're just lifting our leg, it's just the leg being held up in the air. When we're reaching through our toes, now my hip, knee, ankle, toes are all reaching, reaching, reaching. Okay, I can put it down. All right, I can do the same thing with my other leg. Lift it up and reach. Okay, so I point my toes and I'm reaching, reach, 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 reach forward, and I put it down. Okay, let's try the legs one more time. This time we'll lift our knee, and now we're reaching our leg up. Okay, careful, we're not bending back. Okay, just sitting up nice and straight, as high as our leg can go. Okay, so lifting our knee, reaching our knee to the top, reach, and then point our toes out and reach forward. Okay, maybe we want to point our foot back, so now we're reaching our toes back. So reach, 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 or you can put it down. Let's try the other leg. Lift that knee up, reaching that leg to the air, reach that knee up. Okay, as much as we can reach without sacrificing our body form. And we reach forward in front of us. Reach and point it back, reach back towards ourselves. And relax. Okay, and the last one is we could do the same thing for our feet, okay, and our wrists. So even if our wrists are just resting on a table, our feet are resting on the floor, we can reach back towards us and reach to the front. All right, so it takes some control of the mind to try to think of it as reaching for something. So you might have to look at each hand and imagine reaching for something behind you with your fingers and toes. And then reach for something in front of you. Reach, 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 reach. Behind and in front. And relax. Whew. All right, so that's our letter R, reaching. Then we come to 3 different breaths. We have rabbit, roller coaster, and ratio. Okay, so again, some different breathing activities. They could be different types of experiences. So just to be able to try them and see if there's something that, feels good. Excuse me, something that you like. Okay, our first one is rabbit breath. So our rabbit breath, just like a bunny rabbit, breathes quick breaths into the nose. Okay, we're gonna do that along with one big breath of air out in between. So our rabbit breath looks like this. So try it with me, where our breath out is long, long, long as we can. And then our breath in are those 3 or 4 quick rabbit breaths in. So we can blow it all out. And 3 breaths in. Okay. And come back to our regular breathing. Okay. Just to take a little break. see how that rabbit breathing made you feel. Okay, while you're coming back into your regular breath, I'll start explaining the next one, roller coaster breathing. Roller coaster breathing is a really good breathing strategy to use at times of like emergency breathing needed. So what does that mean? We're breathing throughout the whole day, but when we're breathing, we don't think about it. So our breathing is what is needed to keep us alive, okay? But if we think about our breathing, it uses different parts of our brain that can help us to feel calm. So an emergency breathing situation means that we are feeling angry or stressed and we're just already at the very top of our roller coaster. So what do? We need to de-escalate. We need to calm down quickly because it's hard to even think rationally and clear up here. Okay, so that's where our emergency roller coaster breathing comes in. What we do is we make a roller coaster out of our hand by putting it forward like this. And now, with the other hand, we take a pointing finger and we're riding our roller coaster up and down, up and down, up and down. Okay, so you could do it with either hand. And sorry, we actually start from the pinky. Ride the roller coaster up and down. And now we just add breathing to it. So we breathe in when we go up and down, out when we go down. So it looks like this. Let's try it together. Okay, so it ends up being 5 big, deep roller coaster breaths. If we need more, we can always then go to our other hand. Okay, you can always trace your hand on a piece of paper, color it in, and then you'll have that as like a visual image picture of roller coaster breathing that you can use. And it could be colored in, decorated. You can draw and design a roller coaster on it. And if you ever need breathing strategy ASAP immediately, you can always have that picture nearby and think, oh, that's a strategy that I can use. Okay, so that's our roller coaster breathing. Then we have ratio. Ratio breathing means that we breathe at a certain ratio. Ratio just means that it's one number to another number. For our ratio breathing, it's 1 breath in, 1 second in to 2 seconds out. So that means we could do 1 to 2, or 2 to 4, or 3 to 6, or 4 to 8, or 5 to 10. Okay, so just like we did before, we saw how many breaths we take. So I take about 4 breaths in, 4 seconds in, and 4 seconds out. So for the ratio, I'm gonna drop that to 3, and I'm gonna do 3 seconds in, 6 seconds out. If you're breathing at 3, and maybe you wanna try 2 and 4. We can always go more or less, but it's better to start a little less so we're not holding our breath for a very long time or trying to blow our air out for a very long time rather. So the 3 and 6 for me would look like this. Okay, if I decide that I want to try 4 and 8, okay, sign language is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you can always use that for one-handed counting. All right, so try those different breathing activities. See if there's any that you like, any that feel good for you that you might use as a strategy. Our last one is read. Read is a wonderful strategy because it really connects us into our mind, into our imagination and our creativity. Okay, so just by reading anything at all, any kind of story that we read, anything that we reading, whether it's fiction or nonfiction, picture books or not, even if we're reading and there's just a bunch of pictures, right? It's creating a story in our mind, helping us to either explore or understand something differently. Okay, so it's a really good strategy just to help us get away from any kind of situation, take a break, and go into a different kind of reality, a different kind of experience, a different kind of world that we can access through our mind, through reading as one of the ways. Okay, so reading, a beautiful, beautiful strategy that I had to include for our letter R. Okay, and you know, I did not like to read for a long time. I just started to get into it and just reading different things. And it's just really, really beautiful. So really wanted to share that. And there's a lot of different strategies, whether it's writing or reading or just nesting in a quiet place and relaxing, or listening to music, or exercising, breathing, dancing. So it's really just about finding what strategies work best for you. Okay, let's keep on going. Okay, next is squeezes, our letter S. The first one is squeezes. So for squeezes, we actually talked about in our letter H, hugs, right? So squeezes is the same thing. It's just about self-hugs where we can, or somebody else can do this for us too, where we're just squeezing at our joints. So what are our joints? Our shoulder, our elbow, our wrist, right? Our joints of our hands and fingers. So squeeze into those places. That's a way for it to be calming. When we squeeze, we want to squeeze deep. When we go light, that's something that can be uncomfortable. If we go fast, it can be uncomfortable. Calming is usually deep, deep. So look at my fingers, deep squeeze, right? Deep and slow. So we could do 1, 2, this is a self squeeze, 3, 4, 5, and move down to the elbows, 1. Okay, if somebody's doing this for us, then they might be squeezing right around that joint, 2, 3, right? We want to squeeze around the joint, 4, 5, moving to the wrist, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the hands, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and those fingers. Okay, we could just squeeze the fingers out. It's a very nice, calming type of activity. Remember, it's different for everyone, so try it out for yourself. See if, if it's calming, if it's something that can help us to feel better. Okay, squeezes. Next, we have scents and sounds. So scents and sounds can be calming or relaxing too, or they could be energizing. Okay, so I have another sneeze coming. All these breathing and calming activities are making me sneezy. Okay, so scents. So I have 5 scents that we can find at home that are calming. They are lavender, pine, fresh cut grass, jasmine, and chamomile. Okay, so you might have those at home. See if you have any of those at home. We want to waft them in, not just inhale deeply right at it, because it could give us either just an uncomfortable feeling or some kind of, discomfort to our nose or our skin. So be careful. Lavender, pine, fresh cut grass, jasmine, chamomile. 5 calming scents. Okay, 5 energizing ones. Cinnamon, coffee, peppermint, rosemary, and citrus. Okay, cinnamon, coffee, peppermint, rosemary, and citrus. Okay, again, can waft it in. So 5 for calming, 5 for energizing. Okay, so that you can use it in your routine. Sounds. So we talked about squeezing. Deep and slow is more calming than light and fast. We talked about our sense, our sounds. Slow rhythm is calming. Fast is usually more awakening, alerting, energizing. Okay? Rhythm is more calming. Disorganized, right? More random or chaotic kind of, is more energizing, alerting, or discomforting, right? Energizing doesn't always feel comfortable. So when we're doing these sounds, right, and also the actual sound, so very loud could be energizing too, where more quiet and subtle is more calming. This is just general, could be different for everyone. So just putting these out there, right? So our squeezes, deep and slow versus light and fast. Okay, our sense, we have our 5 calming and 5 energizing. And our sounds, so rhythm, slow, and more quiet, are calming. And no rhythm, fast, and loud are more exciting, energizing, alerting. Okay, so squeezes, sense, and sounds. What about shapes? Okay, so our shapes is a really cool way to do different kinds of exercises. What we can do is either draw a picture of the shape, and then we can use our hands or our legs to move into that shape. So what about in the air? Can we make a square with one arm? You can either have your finger pointed or your whole hand out or in a fist. What about the other hand? Square. Okay, what about both hands? Square. Try to keep your body from moving too much. We don't want to move too much back and forth. Try to keep your body straight when we're making our square. Okay, what about triangle? Let's try triangle with the legs. So triangle. Right, so it looks like this. Let's see. There we go, so you can see. Triangle. What about the other leg? Triangle. What about both legs? Okay, we can also draw on the floor or using our fingers to draw on a table. Okay, see if we can move from our shoulder with our legs. We're either moving from our knee, or if we stand up and we try to draw a shape on the floor, circle, right? Then we're moving from our hip, our larger joint. Okay, so shapes is just a nice way to get a little movement exercise in our arms and legs using those shapes. Okay, let's cross out our letter S words. And our last page, let's see. Last page is T. Okay, so we have some different ones for T. Oh, these are fun also. Okay, for T, our first one is tear. So a really good activity, a strategy that can help us to not only get some stress out, get some energy out, but it's actually pretty good for our fingers and our fine motor skills, right? How our fingers work together, fine motor skills of our hands. So what we do is both hands hold onto our page and see if we can tear right in half. Put our page together, tear it again. So the trick is you want to go slow so that you can make it kind of even, so that you can keep making it thicker and thicker, thicker. Okay, let's see if I could get one more in here. Okay, and maybe I want to go long ways. And if some fall, you can let them fall. Now it gets thicker, it's harder to tear. And we keep putting them on top of each other. And we keep trying to tear. And I don't think I could get one more. Let's see. Last one. Remember, if any of them fall, you can let them fall. Last one. Let's see. Whew. So, it's a really nice activity. It does require a piece of paper, but can really get those fingers and the strength and the muscles of the fingers working together and really get that energy out. Could be used in combination with writing, and we'll get to that in another letter, but there's different ways we can write. We can write a letter that we want to share to somebody, or we can write one that we don't want to share. We just use it to express a thought or a feeling or something that's inside of us. So if we write on it, we get it out by writing. We can use tear. We can use the combo of write and tear to rip it up afterwards. So could be a good one. Okay, tree. Tree is a balance activity. So using our legs for tree, we sit up nice and straight, and then one leg we kick up like a kickstand, and we put it to the inside of our other leg. Okay, if we want to try this standing, then holding on to something, having something to support, holding our hands onto something, right? One leg turns outward. See how my leg turns outside? My knee turns to the outside. And then my heel comes up and comes against my other leg, just like a kickstand. And I take my tree just right to here. Okay, it's a balancing activity, a balance strategy. Okay, and while we're here, we try to focus. Whatever our arms want to do. Maybe our arms come to the side. Maybe they open. Maybe they open out to the sides or up. Or they come together to help us find stillness and balance. And we could let it go. Okay, if we're holding on, then we do the same thing with our other leg. So first we turn it out. And we bring our heel up to our other foot. So let me just turn this a little so you can see. Turn our leg out. Okay, just bring our heel up. And we're holding on. And we breathe. Just find balance in this stand. So just like a tree has strong, strong, deep, deep roots, our foot that's fully down, we're really trying to feel the bottom of that foot rooted into the ground as much as possible. Our arms could be out on the sides, or bring them up, or find them in the middle for balance. Okay, bring our leg down, reach back, and we have a seat. Okay. All right. And our last one is triangle. Triangle is also a breathing. We have a lot of breathings here in this week. Okay, for triangle, we can draw a triangle. And this is also a good one. So what we actually could do to see it better is to draw it upside down. But either way is fine. Okay, so with our square breathing, we were breathing in, hold, out, hold. For our triangle, we breathe in, hold, and out. In, hold, and out. Or like this, in, hold, out. In, hold, out. All right, so again, keeping our same amount of breaths throughout. So if we're gonna try for 4, I usually am doing 4. We could try 3 or 4, right? So if we try 4, it would go hold and out. In, hold and out. If we try 3, we'll go in, hold, and out. In, hold, and out. Okay, so seeing what works for you. How many seconds of breathing? 3 seconds, 4 seconds. Try one more on your own. So we breathe in, hold, and out. okay? And we come back to our regular natural breath. And we see how it feels. Okay, so a lot of different interesting ones we discussed in our QRST. We turn our page, blank page. We have one more week left for our last few letters. Okay, and then we'll have a beautiful, complete resource book here of our seated self-regulation activities. All right, so hope you're enjoying these. Remember, these are meant just to be educational, not to replace any existing therapies or services that you might have. And I'm not able to see what anyone is doing, so please make sure you are careful and safe in everything that you do. Consult with a doctor, primary care physician, healthcare provider before starting if you need to. Okay, want to make sure we have fun and we're learning, but most important is safety. So listen to your body. If it doesn't feel right, don't do it. Everything should be pain-free. Make sure we are being careful and safe in everything that we do. All right, hope you are enjoying. Hope these are helpful. Thank you everyone so much for watching. Hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their day. And I look forward to seeing everyone again next week for our last week of Seated OT Class with Dan activities. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. All the best. Take care. Thank you.